And we're gonna get this thing moving, shaking and moving. Right now, well, the plan is to try to talk about this Donald Glover Presents album that dropped. I guess it dropped on Sunday. But the whole thing is a mystery. We don't know what's going on with it. The whole thing is a mystery. So, you know, we're trying to do some research and find out what's going on with this album. You know what I mean? Donald Glover Presents. So I got my man Big Freezy here with us, and I got Guillermo in the chat with us. You know, we're gonna try to do our detective work, figure out what's going on with this Donald Glover album. You know what I'm saying? See what's going on with these guys over here. Freezy, Guillermo, what's poppin', man? How y'all feeling?
Good, man.
All right.
I'm just...
What's going on with this Donald Glover album?
You tell me. You said it best before we came on, a marketing ploy, man, because a bunch of magazines are saying, or online magazines are saying that something happened on Sunday or whatever, whenever it was, and then now, you know, he had a website that had that 2018 song, the summer song, whatever, and then
Feels Like Summer.
Which is just basically just singing what Sade sang. It's kind of weird, but yeah. And then he had a song Ariana Grande and 21 Savage. So I don't know if he's just putting out old material, but remember what Kanye, I don't know. He's probably trying to do like a hyper version of what Kanye West did. Remember with the Kanye Fridays or whatever, when he released something every Friday. Maybe he might be trying to do that. Put something on and then take it off real quick and then drum up interest. You know. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever it is, whack.
I'm not the biggest Donald Glover fan anyway, but I mean, just say it's some type of new music, I'm up for it. So
I can dig some of his joints, man. But this whole thing of having us having to search, this is like, you know what I'm saying, like a Scooby-Doo episode, man. Either you put your stuff out or you don't. You know what I'm saying?
But Big Freezy, you know what it is, bro. These guys, they have to resort to gimmicks because I used to think is that people, like, the kids just don't want to listen to music anymore. And I find it hard to believe, man. Like, I don't think necessarily, I think the kids, I think that the young people are intelligent enough to be like, yo, look, we want music. We just want good music, blah, blah. And it's like, these record labels, they get these guys that just do gimmicks. Everything is a freaking gimmick. Remember Beyonce did something similar like that?
Everything is a gimmick.
You know, she released something on a Sunday. She released her album like on a Sunday night at 2 a.m. or something like that. And it had the whole, you know, beehive buzzing at the next Monday. So
and when people started beefing, like, what are you doing? The beehive attacked everybody. Remember that?
Yeah, right.
All over social media. Beyonce
I want to meet these loser beehive people, man. You don't keep that internet. But anyway, I'm sorry, Sim. Continue.
But if it is a marketing scheme, is it a good marketing scheme? Because I mean, clearly some people, I guess, heard it, right? Some people heard it, then everybody else didn't hear it. So now everyone's searching around for it, you know, and then in a week or something, he drops it. And then everybody's like, oh, let me go hear it.
It has to be a masterpiece. If you do something like that, because when you annoy people like that, they just want, now, just give me the damn music. You know what I mean? And we talk about, look, with Jay Elec, right? We talked about this last week. He took him 10 years to come out with the album, or 10, 8 years, whatever. And it's like
for him and Jay-Z to come out with an album, right?
For him and Jay, right? A duet album, right? But it's like, you know, as
did you say duet or duo?
Duet.
Oh no, I said duet. They both singing and serenading together like some, you know, some crap. It was a good album. It's not as good as I thought it could be. But then again, you waited it's not a masterpiece where people are like, oh my gosh, I understand why he waited 10 years. So Donald Glover obviously is on a more of a microcosmic level. But again, I think people see Donald Glover as like, he's a talented guy, but he's not true. Music isn't truly him. And I know he may love music or whatever, but I think he's an actor who can rap and sing versus a rapper who's trying to act, if that makes any sense. And it's like, you got people going to be waiting for like, okay, yeah, I'm a Charles Gambino fan, but to the rest of us, I mean, you come with another was it Rosebud or the Redbone, whatever. That was cool, but it wasn't someone's like, oh my gosh, this is Get Rich or Die Trying. You know what I mean?
Right. So Essence, you know,
MH.
Huh?
No, I was laughing at what MH said. He said Jay-Z and J.E. dancing on the dance floor. Like, come on, man.
So Essence wrote, you know, did a little something about it, wrote about it. They said the artist formerly known as Childish Gambino has provided millions of fans with much needed distraction from the coronavirus frenzy. On Sunday, March 15th, the award-winning multi-hyphenate released a surprise untitled album, which served as his first full-length release since 2016's Awaken My Love. Only available for streaming through DonaldGloverPresents.com. Now, if you go to DonaldGloverPresents.com right now, it's just a white screen, and I'm going to put it up there and let you see what it looks like. All right, you go to this website right now. It's just a white screen that says Donald Glover on the screen. That's it. This is the screen. And if you can see it, it says Donald Glover Presents. You can't click on Donald Glover Presents. You can't click on anything. Just says Donald Glover Presents.
This is crazy. 2020 is crazy, man.
2020 is crazy, man. 2020 is really crazy. So it says his newest groove featured 12 songs, including a few previously released tracks like Feels Like Summer. So I guess that was a previously released track, but it was released on this album, Algorithm and Warlord, which he performed at Coachella in 2019. All right, in 2017, Glover confirmed he was retiring his Childish Gambino moniker, though he kept winning golden gramophones under the name. He won a Grammy for Best Traditional R&B Singer for Redbone the following year in 2018. I stand by that, Glover said, without dropping the name. I'm making another project right now, but I like endings. I think they're important to progress. And then, you know, he took down the website, and then I guess he put it back up for this release, right? He put it back up, and then all of a sudden, it was gone. There was no alert, no notification, no massive social media campaign to corral music lovers around the project. Instead, eagle-eyed music lovers noticed that Donald Glover's longtime producer had reshared a fan's tweet letting people know that the music was out. The website, Donald Glover Presents, contained no information about the LP, but displayed a text submission box whose purpose will remain unknown for now. Add to the mix that with no song titles available, fans created their own placeholder names until Glover and company decided to drop an official track list. This whole thing is just a marketing. It's all marketing.
Yeah,
it's corny.
It's all marketed. Upon arriving to the site to stream the surprise LP, music lovers see a 4-panel piece of artwork depicting a large crowd gathering involved in some sort of hysteria. So
yeah, this is whack, man. And the reason why I say it's whack, man, is because most of the times I'm not gonna say most of the times because I don't know everybody, but I would figure people that buy music like not spur of the moment, but are in the moment when they want to buy music. And if you make them wait, they just go buy something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why would Donald Glover pump fake on putting out an album, getting people ready to buy, and then they don't buy, and they wind up buying Jadakiss?
And the thing about it, the article pointed out something really important. You're talking about a time where music's probably at a drought right now just because of coronavirus and stuff. You would have looked great by having some type of content out when everyone else really doesn't have much. I mean, other people do have stuff, but to be the guy to release during the coronavirus, you know what I mean? You would have some type of material that to keep people talking about you.
Right. No NBA, no nothing going on. They could have been talking about Donald Glover in a good way.
And all these radio stations, you're talking about, Rosenberg trying to go at Jay Elec. They really have nothing to talk about. I mean, no one really listens to radio stations like that, but at least your names would have been in the bells. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just corny. And another bad thing, you have a niche audience that like really, really likes Donald Glover like that, because people aren't looking for Donald Glover like that. But if he has a good song like Redbone or whatever, people listen to it. Oh, and people listen because of the novelty. Oh, there's a nice little beat. This is cool right here. But stop playing like Big Free said, man. Stop playing around, bro. You don't have the space to be playing around with people like that. Beyonce could do that because she has a fan base that will praise her even if she came out with an album of farts. But you don't got that leeway to do that. Come on,
I don't know, man. Well, I mean, listen, he got people talking about it, so maybe it serves its purpose. You know what I mean? And then he comes back. There's only two things I can think of. I can only think of two things. It's a marketing ploy. He got people talking about it, and in a week from now, everything's gonna, the track list, boom, 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 is gonna be available. Or somebody from his team made a mistake and put it up there. You think so? And then they took it down. That's the only thing I think of.
Right. But he's releasing songs from 2018, though. It's not like it's a new song that was leaked or something. It was a track that came out years ago.
Well, no, that was one of the tracks. That was just one of the tracks. There were other tracks that were up there.
Oh, right, the Ariana Grande.
Yeah, there were other tracks that were up there. So that was just one of the tracks. So, that's that.
So how y'all feeling, speaking of Ariana Grande, how y'all feeling R&B in 2020 anyway? You know what I mean?
R&B still exists?
It does. That does. It does.
No, I'm not even issuing. I feel sad that it's just not praised.
I feel where you're coming from.
I gotta look for this person, like...
Puff Daddy said he's gonna bring real R&B back.
Oh, come on. Sam, no, stop. No one's to sign with Puff Daddy. Come on, man.
I'm just telling you what he said. He said he's going to bring real R&B back.
Who said they trying to bring R&B back?
Diddy. Out of all people. Who was it? Oh, wait. You know why, Sim? Because I think there were talks about trying to bring back making a band. There was something like he was talking about it. Oh, how I really miss it. No. So he might be trying to like drum up interest or drum up, hype for it again. But
no
one wants to see making a band again.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can't replace Dylan. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. That was the peak.
Dylan is up here. You can't make a new
Dylan.
Oh, right.
You can't compete with that.
Diddy says he's on a mission to bring true R&B back.
But he don't got no more samples to steal, and let me not say that. Samples to borrow from, but who wants? See, that's the thing about Diddy, right? When you do something when you do your artist dirty like that, who wants to go? What new artist wants to mess with Diddy like that? And you're talking about a guy who has a ridiculous platform, but who wants to do business with Diddy when you got the locks calling up and wanting to fight you? Like, come on, bro. Just let it go, man.
Yo, check it though. But for the record, he is like the architect of like R&B or hip hop R&B.
Oh, I get, of course, Loud Records.
No, man, y'all.
He's not one of the biggest architects for that. Are you serious?
No, Sylvia Robinson started that in the early '80s. Yes.
Diddy?
No, not Diddy. Sylvia Robinson started that in the early '80s. When you take the hot R&B track and flip it over.
But he said R&B. He said R&B hip hop though.
Yeah.
But so that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Who did the remix? Who did the remix for
411?
No, not the 411, but yeah, that was banging too. That whole album was banging.
But the first platinum selling joint, the first platinum selling rap single was a joint did by Chic, Good Times, right? The Sugar Hill Gang flipped it over and rapped on the instrumental.
No, I'm not talking about what's the 411 remix. I'm talking about
that's
Blige.
Okay.
That was one of the biggest songs of the 90s, bro. At least for the early 90s.
But Big Free, Big Free, you gotta admit, I'm not gonna say he's like Sim said it a while ago. He's not a producer, but he knows how to put. He's
an architect.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Architect.
He can see it from soup to nuts.
Right. He
was not the first to do it, is what I'm saying. JPP said he was the first to do it.
No.
Yeah, he's not the first to do it.
No.
What's
He's
the
one of
Sugar Hill record? You know what I'm talking about? The Sugar Hill.
I mean,
good times.
You go back to Heavy D. I mean, Heavy D used to do it all in one record.
I got nothing but love for you. I got
all of that. Big dude that could dance. Somewhat sing. He tried to sing a little bit, but he always had like R&B chick on there or dude, and he did the rapping, but it was smooth as hell.
Yeah, he took
Diddy comes from
joint.
He comes from the Uptown school anyway.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but he took the joint. Now that we found love, remember that? Now that we found love,
what we gonna do?
Yeah. I think everybody bought that record, and Heavy D just took the record and just rapped on it. So it was a hit.
No. I'm talking about like me and my wife were just talking about this evening. We got We Got Our Own Thing, which was not no like big sample driven song. He's got Nothing But Love. He's got a gang of joints. The joint with Aaron Hall. Of course, Now That We Found Love. I mean, that's from what? Cheek or In Living Color?
No, that's a reggae joint. Now That We Found Love is a reggae joint. It was like the #1 reggae joint around the world. And Heavy D being Jamaican took that, and used it in homage.
No, but I think one of the guys from In Living Color played music on that song. Is what I'm saying.
Oh no, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think so. But the whole point is that Diddy, man, soup to nuts. And I got some of a bias because I worked with the man before. At least I work with his people. But I've seen him in action, bro. Like I've seen him up close and personal. I'll tell you, it's not just he's not just out there stealing talent or having other people behind him while he takes the credit. I've seen it soup to nuts, bro. Like in my face, I'm telling you.
Right. I don't doubt that.
Can't, because I see it.
No, I don't doubt that. But what I'm saying is, it's easy to take a joint that's #1 on the R&B charts, play the instrumental, and have a dude rap on it. It's too easy to make a hit because people are already familiar with it. So it's already a guaranteed smash, and then now all you do is basically have a cat rap on it, man. It's too easy to make a hit out of that.
But what is a new R&B sound anyway?
Because other people have tried it and failed.
What's the new R&B sound anyway? Is it still trap soul, or like what is the?
I think it depends on who you're listening to. Like
a bunch of women whispering. I gotta hear people sing, bro. Like I'm sorry, man. Like my favorite female singer of all time is Patti LaBelle, and obviously she's an anomaly. I mean, I'm not saying you have to sound like her, but more and more I'm hearing these women because there's one chick from my school, Mary Ann Marie.
She all right. She top 10 maybe. Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle, voice-wise, you're bugging. She's probably top 3, but you're bugging. But of course, Big Freezy just wants to argue because he just likes arguing because he tried to diss my man Rock Marciano, but it's all cool. But anyway, this guy Big Freezy. But I'm just saying, like, I listened to not Ellie Mae. I listened some new woman. Somebody put me on, and it's just like they sing about a lot of. They try this like fake deep stuff where it's like the videos them sitting out in the grass in some park that no one knows where, and it's like grasses and leaves, and there's like it's like this whispering stuff, and it's like I don't feel this. Like, what the hell are you talking? Where's the melody? There's a bunch of auto tunes, a bunch of synthesized, it's a bunch of you whispering, and then me trying to act like, all right, I'm gonna go to Afro punk concert and act like this is deep. Come on, man, like. It's trash. It's music, the R&B music. I don't know where R&B music is, and I know they try to make it Justin Bieber. And I listened to Ellie Eilish the other day. I'm like,
hell no!
This won a Grammy? What the hell is this?
She was the one talking smack about hip hop the other day.
Of course, everybody talks smack about hip hop, but then Pop Smokes dies, and she ain't talk about that crap no more. So
right.
Clown life.
Now, I like Ty Dolla $ign, man. I like Ty Dolla $ign.
He got a song with Jada.
Right.
But do you think Ty Dolla $ign could ever make an album like this? Sounds corny, but an album where he's making like memorable songs like a Keith Sweat. I'm not saying Keith Sweat is the greatest.
You're right. You're right. No. You're right.
A lot of these guys can't. A lot of these new singers can't. That's the reason why they. I mean, but to be fair, a lot of artists start off like that way, doing hooks, right? Having little pieces of songs here and there until they can do
being the
a
side
full
dude.
album. And a lot of R&B singers, most R&B singers aren't writing their own albums anyway. Somebody else is writing it for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But you get that's fine though. You get I don't mind him not writing it, but a guy Ty Dolla $ign's, like you said, he'll be on a hook and you're like, yo, I like this. But it's like, where are his songs? Like, do you think is that these guys, obviously the labels and stuff, but
okay,
I don't know, because ever since Trey when Trey songs first came out, he was one of my favorite artists, man. I Don't Want to Leave and Just Gotta Make It.
Yeah.
But then he signed at 360 and all he talked about was, drinks in the club and then clubs on the drinks. It's like he just kept flipping the same crap, and it's like, come on, this is garbage.
Even though other people joints, he was doing that.
Yeah. I'm about to dive in.
Now,
I mean, it was a cool song, but it's not what I know he can make. Like,
the one thing I'll say this about R&B though is
he still got time though.
And it's probably R&B is probably the way the artists are developed is probably still more like traditional. Like with rappers, you don't need an A&R really. You know what I'm saying? They're putting out mixtapes on the street, they're doing whatever. I think with singers, and you talk about someone who's singing R&B and not really using, auto-tune and all that stuff, you need years of development, I think. You still need years of development to perfect your voice, to grow as an artist. I still think you need that as an R&B singer. If you're a true R&B singer, I think you probably still need that because it's just different than rapping.
Right. And if I can add something on to that, man, my son and I were having this discussion. We seem like we have this discussion every month. And what I tell him is the reason why music is different is because we are void of the boo factor. Like if you perform somewhere like so I grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey, man, right? Cats used to battle each other on the corner. And if you was whack, cats would boo you and tell you was whack straight eyeball to eyeball. That way you can either get out the game or sharpen your skills, right? So nowadays, you have cats where you have less of an audience that you have to impress by these skills that you crafted, and more of I'm doing these things solo, one person to see me think I'm dope and they'll push me. And then now you get these artists that come out, and I'll tell you an artist who I think is probably the benefactor of that is this cat named Designer from New York, right? So when you hear him rap, right, you like
Panda.
Yup, him. So lyrically, he has a little bit of skill with a tiny bit of skill with a pen, a tiny bit, right? but he thinks that his drone style is something that's so fire that people will just get on that lean and listen to it and bop to it. But for cats that grew up in our culture, see, we grew up hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We grew up hip hop, and rap music is the soundtrack of our life. You know what I'm saying? So when we hear a cat that's whack like that get in the game, and then he get this big following, and it's like, yo, if you don't like Designer, then something wrong with you. Has the whole game set backwards. And it's the same thing for the R&B singers that Guillermo was talking about. The ones that try all these different styles, see, they hadn't got booed or, or got some kind of reception to their face where they would know that style would be whack. That's why they can put it out and hide behind it.
You know why, Big Freezy? Because now rap is a hustle. Before, back in the day, if you said you're a rap and you got into a cypher, and like I said before, you couldn't get into a cypher with like Busta Rhymes, AZ, Jay-Z, all those guys who knew each other, whatever. OD, what I mean? You couldn't get into a cipher and pulled up what they're doing now. But now the payoff is that you had to be skilled, but the payoff was that there was longevity to it, right? Like your name would ring bells if you were good at it, right? And obviously back in the day, if you could sell albums, whatever, or people still consider AZ one of the greatest rappers, and he didn't sell a whole bunch, but is that everyone knew he was nice. But nowadays, it's a hustle for everybody. So you might get the buzz for 1 or 2 seconds, and everybody understands. It's like everybody understands that when they hear some of these songs, they know that the main talent is a producer. They know that this rapper ain't talking about ish. They know Kodak Black ain't worth he ain't worth rat spit. But yeah, obviously he has a hot beat. They all know it's a hustle. But then once he fades out because look, we're tired of the same crap. It's garbage. That's a payoff, or I guess the whatever you want to call it, the backlash, whatever. Because it's like, and he's no longer, because it's just a gimmick. It was just a hustle, and everybody just keeps seeing this stuff as a hustle. So when it's hard, like even the real artists now, the actual good artists, they get a real artist to write for crap artists. Literally, Drake had a whole factory of good, whatever you want to call them, writers, singers, whatever.
Right.
And it was just basically doing all his albums, and it's basically Drake is just this, he's a megazord of like all these freaking singers and producers coming together, but by himself, he's an empty shell. So, and the same thing, why do you think a woman like what's his Jasmine Sullivan? Right. She's stuck in the wrong era. She should have been, if she was born in maybe the 40s. Maybe she would have been big in the 60s, 70s. She would have been one of the biggest singers of all time. But a woman like Jasmine who can actually sing and she's not gimmicky. So who's going to sit there and give her the best beats? Who's going to sit there and get her the best production? P. Diddy talks about all that stuff, but there are no P. Diddy's of yesteryear who are around there to compose and put stuff together for a person. You think Whitney Houston would survive in an era like this? Let's be honest. But as great as Whitney Houston is, Whitney Houston survived mostly because of her talent. It wasn't because she was just coming out with gimmicky stuff. She's come out as her talent, but then her songs caught on because she had
some great writers though.
Exactly, great writers. But the thing about Whitney Houston's that,
but they wrote for her. They wrote for her because she had a great voice.
Exactly.
And listen, Whitney Houston's voice was so great. I took a jazz class.
I know what you're gonna say, Sam.
And her voice was so great that the teacher said that they had to put her vocals in in the system and change it to make it less perfect. Right? They had to put it in a DAW, which is a digital recording stage thing, to make it less perfect because her voice was too perfect and it didn't sound real. That's how perfect. That's how much of a singer she was. But that's crazy.
And she had I thought you were gonna say this, but her and Mariah Carey can do it 2 times, and then Whitney Houston can do it 4 times. But literally, their octaves, like they can hit like octaves. As what I said, those points. I think Mariah Carey 2 times and Whitney Houston 4 times, like above like the normal whatever scale. I forgot what scale they're using because their voice was just that alien like.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about?
Hello?
Oh, go ahead, man.
I said, y'all ever heard of Rochelle Farrell?
Nah, I never heard of Rochelle Farrell.
No. Yeah.
Rochelle Farrell, she's like on that level but she's not going to dumb it down at all.
You know it was like that too? Hathaway.
Right.
Hathaway.
Right. Rochelle Farrell, Hathaway's hair, Rochelle Farrell's hair, bro.
Really?
Wait a minute.
Hathaway had something on YouTube where she was singing like 2 notes at the same time. It was some weird.
Yeah, it was Snarky Puppy.
I tell you, I'm not saying Hathaway's bad.
That was, I'm talking about Big Freezy.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen her go there, so I'll take that back. But what I've seen of Rochelle Farrell versus Hathaway, Rochelle Farrell's up here, and she has these big lips, right? She's famous for being on Apollo back in the day. But she's an older person now. I think she teaches vocal classes and different things like that. She can manipulate her voice, and her lips go like like that when she doesn't. So she gets like real animated. But she's like, you got people on YouTube reacting to her videos because there's folks who don't know she exists.
Oh yeah, her face looks very familiar. All right, I know you're talking about.
So when she starts singing, people are like, holy shit, because these younger folks, they ain't never seen nothing like that before. I mean, we're lucky to be able to have had the Apollo come on at 1 o'clock in the morning after Saturday Night Live.
Channel 4,
Because we saw a lot of talent come that way.
Man, y'all old, man.
We grew up in a special time, man. It's comparable to this.
We got spoiled, man. That was it. We got spoiled, bro.
Yeah, we were spoiled like a motherfucker.
And like I said, so these younger kids that be on here on YouTube and stuff, they actually want to hear this music, man. It's not like these young kids. And you talked about this last time, Sin. Not you didn't say, but we were talking about, and it was like, do these young kids actually want to hear it? Do you have to put this and that for stuff to sell? Well, things aren't selling anyway. And so, a lot of these young kids, you see, these kids are way younger than me, less than half my age, talking about, oh yeah, I just found out, who this new singer was. Man, I love their music. And it's like, wait, what? You would have thought that from all what these people in High 97 say, like when Ebro disrespected Buckshot and said, oh, you minor leagues, you ain't major league. But if you put Buck 'em Down, that type of song, you tell me that's not basically Joey Badass? Today, you tell me Buckshot with that song Buck 'em Down ain't basically what Joey Badass is trying to become? Some dude rapping on a smooth sample, talking about all this esoteric, conscious street stuff, and not sounding overly gangster and drugged up. It could rhyme. And come on, man. Like,
yeah. So, what y'all think about? I don't know if you even heard about it or read about it. Method Man is supposed to be doing another album with Havoc producing the album. Now, if that comes to be,
yo,
man.
By the way, I gotta say this, Sim. Havoc is one of the most underrated rappers of all time. I don't care what no one says. I just listened to Hell on Earth today.
Right.
Bruh. Havoc does not get enough praise for rapping, man. Like, nah. Havoc's to me, he's one of the more underrated rappers of all time, man. He was in a group, and think about it, he was also producing too. He could rap, son. But if the only thing I'm scared of, Sim, I want the Havoc when he took the freaking when he made the Shook Ones beat, and how he took the Hubie, what's it, Hancock. What the hell is this guy's name?
Herbie
Hancock. I was gonna say Hubie Hancock. Herbie Hancock beat, rewinded it, slowed it, and then chopped it up. Like, dude, I hope Havoc has that energy in him, because he could produce, man. He could rap too, man. So yeah, man, that'd be crazy.
You know what the ill thing is, man? It's like these dudes, when you go from KRS to Rakim to Buckshot, even down, to Havoc in the early 90s, man. These dudes are doing this at 17, 18, 19 years old, bro. Right. It's insane. He did that Shook Ones beat at what, 18 or 19? Right. He probably had it in the chamber at 16, 17.
Right.
It's insane, bro. From the production to the lyrics to the arrangement.
I just realized this too, man.
These kids don't know, bro.
A lot of these kids ain't hungry like that, man. Because think about this. You grow up poor in the projects. You grow up poor in, I'm not saying all, but a lot of these kids that you be seeing in the projects of, they have cell phones. They have, not to say that cell phones will make you rich or whatever, but I just feel like the hunger for a lot of these kids obviously is there for a lot. Some of these producers you be hearing nowadays, I gotta give them credit. Very talented, but a lot of kids' life is easier, man. Everyone has a smartphone that connects them to the internet, so they're not really. So they're not looking to be all right. Let me list some old songs that my father used to have, my mom used to have. Let me dig in the crates. Let me try to find something. Let me try to get myself out of the situation. Some of these kids are just complacent, man. Life is just not as.
What do you want?
Tough.
Yeah. Have you heard the joint with Method Man and Havoc? I think it came out.
There's a song?
November. Nah, I didn't hear.
Let me see. I'm gonna play a little bit. Play a little bit of it. Street Life and Method Man featuring Havoc.
So whatever. It's the juck. All you see is crooks. Shout out to Havoc. Good looking on the beat. Forever P. Street Life was good. About to go in, son. Look. Red bones and red bottoms. Like Red Bull, we gon' give them wings, we red dot them. Candy rappers, send them in, we red hot them. Headshot them, go against my grain, get head problems. Big dummy, garbage rappers, we red fox them. Shoot an actor in high depth and red box them. Tip the scales in my favor, stay in your top 10. If life's like a triple beam, I'm weighing my options. Y'all like why meth? You high meth? Keep a big popper, cause I ain't ready to die yet. I digress, or I'm just too intense to digest. Stretched in a Pyrex, compliments to my chef. Game ain't been the same since I left. Is they really crooks or just a pain in my neck? Wu-Tang, ain't no lanes in my set. Fresh pair of Nike Airs, I just do it for my check. I'll be the first to tell these rappers, get your bars up. Shout to P, you know what's Havoc when we...
I'm saying, yeah, we can get some... What you say?
That large professor, the other dude rapping?
Nah, that was all Meth. That was all Method Man rapping. That was all Meth rapping.
Both? It sounded like a different voice.
He just raised his voice.
Yeah, that was all Meths. I mean, if we could
it was okay. I think, I ain't gonna lie, Sim, you're gonna kill me. Besides Fire in the Hole, I haven't really messed with Meth since the mid '90s, man. Because I missed the Meth we had, like that character, the blazing, and I want to hold in the hole in the reason. Like, it's just that voice it was so iconic. Now he just
kind
of.
I think if Meth works, if Havoc produces a Meth album, I think it's gonna be dope.
I gotta say, somebody said it. If it's old Havoc, it gotta be '90s Havoc, man. It can't be.
That beat wasn't bad.
Yeah, that beat was
cool.
I mean, that beat. I mean, but see, Guillermo expects every song to blow his brains out.
I knew someone was gonna say.
Guillermo wants every single song to blow his brains out.
No, I'm just saying. It was a cool song, but I just it's tough because I think Havoc is talented. But I don't want Havoc's giveaway. I don't want Havoc's. Oh yeah, I produced this in 2000, but yeah, let me just act like this is for the new. This is new. I want, if it's gonna be a Meth and Havoc, like how Meth was rhyming on it was fun. I actually didn't mind that because it wasn't just but. And you bring out these old names, man. They have classic stuff, so you only could compare it to some of their classic stuff. You gotta, I don't know, man.
My expectation would be, that they experiment a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Stay anchored and stay in their lane, but experiment a little bit with some new sounds and such, and maybe do some features with a couple of new artists. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. If Havoc is producing it though, 100% of the beats are gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? It might be something that you don't get, but as far as production value, you'll be like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
If he produced, even when in the 2000s, what was that beat?
I know what you're talking about.
All the Queens rappers rapping on the black and white video.
You talking about Burn?
Was it Burn? That was called Burn?
Yes. Oh, Burn.
That, I mean, even that beat, I love that beat. But it's like
with the cymbals in the back.
Yes, yes.
The cymbals make the song to me.
Havoc got to come, or even, and I hate how Havoc was so cocky with this because he said the Quiet Storm beat wasn't one of his favorite beats. He just kind of just put it together. I'm like, dude, you just brag because that song, that beat is disgusting.
It's his best beat ever.
And he said that. I don't know if it's his best beat. You could say it's top 5 though.
Shit Ones is to me. Shit Ones and Survival of the Fittest. It's to me.
I'm not gonna argue that.
Survival of the Fittest. Oh, you're strong, survive. I'm trying to remember.
I mean, you got a lot of banging ones though. Like,
you got
a lot of bangers out there. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of banging beats out there.
Queensbridge, Get the Money, No Time, Long Play. Which song was that?
God Part 3. It's a bunch.
God with the was it the Scarface beat? The Scarface sample, right?
Right. Yeah, man.
Yo,
he's got a lot of bangers.
Crazy, man. I don't know.
Havoc is a legend, yo. That's crazy.
Well, we'll see, man. Hopefully it's real. They're really working on something together. You know what I mean? And maybe we get something.
Do you even like Method Man?
Do I like Method Man? Yeah, I love Method Man, man. I mean, his solo albums weren't always what I expected them to be when he dropped his solo albums. You know what I mean? But I still am a big fan of Method. I mean, after his first album, his other solo albums just didn't really fully stack up to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously everything he did with Redman was like crazy,
Right.
That revived his career, I thought, because didn't he sign that terrible deal with Def Jam for like 20 years or some stupid thing like that? And they kind of put him on the back burner. And the Redman stuff saved him, man. Excuse me as I kiss the sky.
Him and Redman. They probably never get together and do another album. Who knows? But they did it back then.
But Meth is definitely a chemistry rapper. If you put him with some guys, Meth will stand out with some guys. But on his own, though, man, you like, do I really want to hear like 3 verses?
Yeah. Let me ask you this: why? How come Waka Flocka said he will annihilate Nas and KRS-One on an 808 beat?
Because he needs attention. Like Waka
Flocka, bro.
Did he say the other day that he's a whack rapper?
Yeah, he said it.
Yes, he did. He said he stopped rapping because he knew he was a whack rapper.
These guys want attention so badly. It's embarrassing, man. Really? I wish Nas had. If Nas had the attitude of 50 Cent, what rapper would it? Because you just have this guy who would troll you with just lyricism. Like he would actually take that challenge up and battle him. Like, come on, are you serious? Are you serious, Waka Flocka? It's like, bro, we understand. And he said he's a businessman now. Why don't you be a businessman? Just stay like, you don't need to troll. That's how Lil Yachty trolled on Biggie, and then now Lil Yachty's dressing up like Oprah for videos, man. Like, come on, bro.
Right, but to the point that I was making earlier, these cats did never experience the boo factor. Lil Yachty is one of them dudes. Never experienced the boo factor. So when he come out and he sell 5 million albums, how can you tell him he's not better than Nas?
Well, first of all, Lil Yachty didn't sell crap. That's why he had to dress up like Oprah. But the whole boo factor is
you're talking about the latest album. You're not talking about the first one, though.
The first album didn't sell. Lil Yachty?
Yes, I'll pull up the numbers for you.
Wait, wasn't it so bad that like basically he got cancer or something like that?
No.
But this is what Waka Flocka said, right? He said, "I'm a realist." He said, "I'm real to myself." No, he said, okay. So he went on to say, Waka Flocka said, if he, Nas, and KRS-One got on a track, he would likely have the wackest verse. Right? He said that he would have the wackest verse. He said, but I'm a realist. He said, I'm real to myself. He said, but if they get on an 808 beat, I'm going to annihilate them. He said, that's when a whack rapper wins on an 808 beat. There can't nobody rap better in my world. So I would love to see KRS respond. I don't know what KRS is doing or where he's at right now, but he'll respond to him.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. Like, what does KRS win from responding to Waka Flocka?
I mean, KRS ain't doing nothing now, so he might as well respond to somebody.
What we do know is KRS got a battle rap for Waka Flocka. According to him, he has a book.
Yep.
With every rapper's name in it.
Yep.
And he has something set up for them just in case something go down.
Yep, that's what he said.
and KRS One also threw off PF Don off of freaking like, bro, don't mess with KRS. Why these rappers want to do that, man? Why don't you battle one of these whack rappers that talk about Molly and Lean and I don't know what the hell they talk about now, but it's like, come on, Nas, like
KRS got that old man strength, man, and he ain't no he got
that old man. Hard
real talk. KRS
hands, man.
KRS is 6'5", bro.
And he was homeless too, so he ain't joking around, man.
Nah, yeah, for real. Yep.
Yo, so I'll tell y'all something I heard back in the day. So I was in Texas, like, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, and my roommate came busting in the room. He was like, yo, somebody jumped BDP. And I'm like, how somebody jumped BDP? It's like 1,000 of them cats. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, I just got the book right here. So we look, and De La Soul beat up the whole BDP crew. De La Soul.
De La Soul.
De La Soul. I'm telling
they got
you.
two big dudes on their squad, so.
De La Soul.
I'm telling you. Yep. And if you look at documentaries and stuff on De La Soul, it was like, yo, they was constantly beating dudes up on the road because cats was sleeping on them because they thought they was soft because they had flowers on their video covers.
Yeah, if you listen to De La Soul is Dead. Dang, what's the track on De La Soul is Dead? I can't think of the name of the track now. They kind of talk about, because on the track, basically they go wherever, it's a party or whatever, and they fighting, right? And the girls is like, is that De La Soul? I thought they was hippies and da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? And they mention, they talk about it on the track, like, just because we whatever don't mean we're punks. It's on De La Soul is Dead. I can't think of the name of the track though.
Right.
Can't think of the name of the track.
Yeah.
Yeah. What y'all think about Joe Budden and Jay Electronica?
You know, Joe Budden needs attention. That's all it is.
Well, I mean, Joe Budden don't rap no more, so he's gonna do whatever it is he's got to do to a degree to stir up some controversy.
Basically,
it's
Yeah,
like,
shout out to Joe Budden, the Jersey City representative. I ain't trolling you, Guillermo. I'm just saying, we from the same neighborhood, man.
No, it's cool. Think about Joe Budden. Look, Joe Budden is talented as hell. The thing about him is just like he just gets annoying. He has like these tendencies are just like, you know, be made. Like he just likes to do things for attention, and it's just you already have a good platform. You have good topics at times. You don't need to do certain things just like chase cloud or chase. If you wanted to actually have a discussion with Jay Electronica, I'm pretty sure he would come up to your station or to your studio and have a civilized conversation. And if you say, yo, come on, man, you had Jay-Z whooped you, whatever. I've seen Jay Electronica have conversations where he's literally, I won't say combative, but he's dialogue back and forth. And you don't have to put on these gimmicks for him. Like, you know what I mean? But look, if you don't like the album, that's one thing. That fair enough. You think Jay bodied him on the album? I really don't know, because there are a bunch of songs with Jay-Z where it's like, I could do without this. And it wasn't like, oh, he killed Jay Elec. But it's like, come on, Joe Budden. The one I got not mad at, but the one I was like, yo, this dude's really cloud chasing was Peter Rosenberg. Because he got all offended at Jay Electronica for a line that he misinterpreted.
I'm going to get to that in a minute.
But, I'm sorry, my bad. I wasn't trying to skip to it.
But this is what Joe Budden said. I never got absolutely mopped around on my own project. Basically, he said that Jay-Z washed Jay Electronica on his own album.
Yeah, but whoever wanted to rap with Joe Budden on a project, bro, right. Like, people still make fun of you because bump it up. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Just be humble. Why can't these guys just be humble? Look, Joe, you may pump it up. It's a gimmick nowadays. I don't think anyone wanted to do an album with you like that. Like, people weren't really looking for, like, I remember, look, on freestyles, like the freestyle you had with Styles P, Freeway, and Beanie Siegel, one of the best freestyles I've ever heard. But you're talking about freestyles in a studio. You're not talking about albums. Like, bro, you're not even at that level. Like, Jay Electronica also produces too. Like, come on, that's why these guys always gotta hate, man.
Yeah, I think Joe Budden. I think Joe bodied Drake on that diss song though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, why don't Joe Budden just drop an album?
We're not arguing he can't rap. You know what I'm saying?
He can rap. Why he don't just drop an album? Just drop another album.
Because you know it's gonna be whack. Because his last album he dropped that before he retired was trash.
Doing whatever. Jay Electronica replied to him. He said, "I never heard your albums, bro. May Allah bless your career as a journalist." And then Joe Budden said to him, Joe Budden said to him, "I took you off yours, and it's a Hove mixtape now." He said, "Peace be unto you." Whatever.
But if you bruh, like, why is I don't get this hate, man. Like, Joe Budden's the same guy. Now he would do this for some of these rappers. Now he will co-sign some of these terrible rappers who sound worse than Jay Electronica.
Thank you.
Did he co-sign Cardi B? Was that him? Or was that Nori?
Joe he's
a company man now. He got on by being a guy who so-called will go against the industry, got hot off of that, and then now he's basically an industry guy. I hear some stuff he says like, all right, now he's in the industry. He's talking that industry crap because he's made a few concessions for some. He used to come out saying this rapper's whack, this rapper's whack, this rapper's whack. Fair enough. He's coming out now. He's co-signed some really crappy artists that I know and he's doing. He's like, well, I can't just be going around, blah, blah. And it's like, no, if they're whack, they're whack. Like, when you're talking to Little Yachty about his career and stuff, you're right. Yes, you're going overboard, but you're right. And these other whack rappers, Cardi B, she is not a good rap. She made she basically built her career off of taking a song from another crappy rapper in Kodak Black and getting hot off of that. She's not a good rapper. And Joe, you're going to co-sign that, but you want to ish on Jay Electronica? Come on, man. These dudes just be hating, son.
we all know Joe is conflicted. He knows he has talent. He knows he can rap, but is he willing to take it to that next level of artistry? You know, he can put bars together like nobody's business. Is he willing to take it to the next level, like start producing? Just start honing your craft.
And once you do Love and Hip Hop, you can't talk. Once you do Love and Hip Hop, you are done. There actually really is no hip hop in you once you do Love and Hip Hop. So don't talk trash about no one else. Worry about that.
But lyricists don't usually go in that producer lane. Lyricists don't jump in that producer lane.
He doesn't even have to do that. He doesn't even have to do that.
Right. How many songs has Nas produced?
Well,
Joe, you're right. He doesn't.
He
doesn't. What about Rakim? What about Rakim? How many songs has Rakim produced?
But what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily just production. You could do other things, like you could start working with younger artists. You know what I'm saying? That's another way to.
But he is doing something.
And just become like an OG.
He's got one of the most popular podcasts that we know about.
Yeah, but that's why Jay Electronica said journalist. He's not really about journalist.
Podcast, I'm not saying don't be a journalist, but what I'm saying is that is Joe willing to take the art of hip hop, the culture, but rapping to the next level? I don't think so.
Joe can't read, but he said that. Remember, he said that remember he's so-called retired and stuff. But even before that, like he officially retired, he kept going back like, oh, I might do something. I might make another one. He knows he don't have it in his heart to make another one. Right. He's a talented guy who needs producers. He's probably born in the wrong era. I'll give him that. But Joe Budden's not a guy where you would put him as like the top 5. I wouldn't even put him, honestly, I wouldn't put him on Jay Elec's level, because overall Jay Electronica to me is a better artist or better just all around entertainer than Joe Budden. And you sitting there like just to get like you talking about was a Jay-Z?
No, he's not. That's a reach.
He's not.
No, that's the reach.
What? Say that again. Say that again. What you say again?
Jay Electronica is a better overall entertainer than Joe Budden. The guy produces and can rap, and his production is. I think is pretty good.
The only thing I can say is I've never really seen Joe Budden entertain or do anything. I've never seen him in concert. I've never seen him on stage.
Right. The entertainer, I wouldn't know.
Right, but Joe Budden has
let me say artist. Sorry, let me say artisan. I meant. Let me say artist, not entertainer. I just try to say something all encompassing of his rapping and production. So overall artist. Let me say.
How many albums does Jay Electronica have?
He has one, and he has a mixtape. What the F is Jay Electronica? But he's produced for a lot. But he's produced for a lot. He's produced for people.
That's over the course of 12 or 13 years too.
Yeah, but he's also produced for other
Exhibit
people.
A in 2008. Right.
I can't. I don't knock his talent. I just can't take him seriously, man. It take you 15 years to make an album. You're not D'Angelo, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Let's see what you got.
But Sim said it too, though.
Take your 13 years.
Sim said it too, though. Like, okay, I'm not gonna give excuse. Look, I still think Jay Electronica should have went, the route of independent, whatever. But he signed to Rock Nation, and those deals, like you said, like Sim said, if you're not somebody who's gonna look to be selling a lot, they're probably not gonna push it. They have a bunch of artists on Rock Nation that, like Rita Ora, who I think is not talented singer wise, whatever. She got bumped off, or she's like nothing now on. She's like, I don't think she even knows she does music anymore. But it's like who they find to be people that can sell. And Jay Electronica, I think again the paradigm was shifting to more of a mercantile type of fragmented industry where niche audiences are appreciated. Jay Electronica is still from that era of, hey, sign this 360 and sell your soul away, and we'll try to make you a star. And he got stuck. So that's the only excuse I give him now. He could have done this stuff independently. I don't know what his deal is, but because I heard stuff of the track that the first album that should have been, on this one, and I'm like, dogs, like, sheesh.
Okay, so
I don't know what he signed. I don't know if he signed 360. I was just saying he signed a deal with Rock Nation, and I think I can't see him sign make you sign anything but a 360. But that could just be me.
I don't know. So let's talk about the Peter Rosenberg thing.
Oh, right. This clown.
Let's talk about let's listen to this little.
Oh, you're gonna kill this JJP. Oh.
Let's listen to this little interview or whatever. It's about 8 minutes long.
Oh boy.
That was on Hot 97. All right.
Oh boy.
A running mate that will be a woman. And Bernie Sanders said
Okay,
probably.
we need to skip off of that.
We shall
That's not
see.
what we listen to.
Yeah.
And Biden also said, and I
Came out and you guys had a back and forth on Twitter.
Oh, it got crazy.
Okay, here we go.
That came out and you guys had a back and forth on Twitter.
Oh, it got crazy. It got crazy.
yeah, I went on Twitter on Saturday, and at first I was like, oh, should I say this? I don't want to. And then I said, well, if I feel a way about this, and I know other people feel a way about this, why should I just keep my...
Oh, my bad.
I was offended by him referring the day I drove to work listening to it. I was like, oh, here we go with this ish. So, you know, I was offended by him referring to the synagogue of Satan, and then another reference to Israel sounding like Satan. And I expressed it on Twitter and said I didn't like it and didn't like how it felt. And then Jay came for me aggressively. Didn't exactly say, hey, we should have a dialogue about this. I think you're misunderstanding me. It was more like STFU. As if I shouldn't even have the right to feel a way. And then basically the consensus I've gotten from the public is the following. Number one, why are you offended? You're not even really Jewish. And they're not being ironic. They don't realize that is offensive also. They really are serious. And then, Ebro, here's another great one. Rosenberg, your selective outrage. You're not upset when black artists use the N-word and say things about other black people. Wait, so you're saying I wouldn't have gotten dragged if I told black people when they can use the N-word? That's my place? I should have done that? No, that's not my job. And also, furthermore, it is no person's job of another group to tell people of another group when they should be offended. That's not my job as a white person. I choose not to use that word. People can do whatever they like. That's not for me to decide.
Now, Rosenberg, the synagogue of Satan refers to people of, faking being Jewish, right? And using Judaism, this has been going on for millennia, as a hiding place because, Jews are a quote unquote protected group on planet Earth, if you will.
Oh yeah, very protected. Tell that to the 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. Tell it to my family who died in camps.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So to that notion, which we've talked about on this radio show, if we talk about it once a month, we'll probably do it more than that. To the notion of people weaponizing anti-Semitism incorrectly.
That is a thing.
That is a thing. And to white supremacists, actually, that they're being Jewish white supremacists like Stephen Miller, who works for Donald Trump. We've talked about that. We've talked about all of those things.
And we've mentioned it before, but real quick, to act as if that is a big part of some significant portion of Jews is crazy. Like, it is a real thing. I got news for you guys. There are bad people in every single group. That's just called being a human being. So believe me, I heard from some of those people this weekend.
So was Jay Electronica offended because he actually dated a woman who's Jewish?
Well, first of all, I don't think that's what he didn't say anything about that. I would assume not. Also, that would be the same as saying my girlfriend's black. After you say something racist, it means nothing.
But I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying could that be the origins of some of the sensitivity?
I mean, listen, he was mad because him and I have discussed these things, and I frankly don't remember the conversation we had 10 years ago. I just know how I felt about it right now. And how I felt about it right now in the climate we're in now was I found it dangerous and hurtful just as a Jewish hip-hop head. And people wanted to come for me and villainize me for having feelings about my own group. I don't tell gay people how to feel about what they determine to be homophobic. I don't tell black people to how they should feel about perceived racism. Please don't tell me, as a Jew whose mother was born in a displaced persons camp, my mother in a displaced persons camp after the Holocaust, don't tell me what I should be offended about. It has nothing to do with my place in hip hop. Everyone tried to make it, you're white, it's not your place, you're a culture. Right. This is just my opinion about words that offended me. If Jay wants to speak about it, Ebro, he said you want to have a forum. We have a forum every day, my G. Anytime. And I'm not saying I hate the guy or we can't have a conversation. Of course we can. But I have the right to express that those words are hurtful. And you guys know I do not sit here and call anti-Semitism. I do not pull that card. I spend much more time defending the rights of Palestinians who have had pain inflicted on them by Israel. I call out Israel much more than I call out anti-Semitism. So please don't make it like I pull my Jew card all the time. But in this moment, I did not like how it sounded. You can only have your group associated with the word Satan so many times before you go, yo, what's going on? And I think I have that right. So for me to get shouted down, and also the lack of support, and no one had my back. I looked at the few likes I got on my tweets. Shawnee, I'm talking about no one I know liked my tweet.
Nobody.
No one. I saw people liking his tweet that I know. I see you, Russell Simmons. I see you, Chuck Creekmer from All Hip Hop. I see you guys liking his tweets, telling me to shut up. No one liked my tweet. Russell Simmons, friend of the Jews for life. Not when I have something to say. Now all of a sudden you're out. So a lot of people, everyone wants to have their Jewish lawyer and their Jewish friend and all those stereotypical tropes about Jews. But when I said, hey, this hurt my feelings for once, no one said boo.
You're not allowed to have your feelings hurt, man.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're white and Jewish.
So my life is so great. Even though we have we have white supremacy and anti-Semitism everywhere, we shouldn't say anything. Jews, by the way, who are expected to be an ally, and in my opinion, have delivered more than any other group being an ally. No one wants to step up and say a word when something offensive gets said about Jews. It doesn't mean you hate Jay. I don't hate Jay. He's a great artist. The album, Electronica.
That was Jay Elec Hanukkah.
Is that what he said?
Listen, he loves how Hanukkah rhymes with
Electronica.
What? Anyways, I hope we have the conversation at some point. I think it'll be valuable, but you can't just shout me down because I have feelings. I'm sorry.
Wow.
All right, fellas. So,
Can
I go first on this one?
Go ahead. I got too much to go ahead, man.
Go ahead, man.
Holy Ooh.
How many of the other? Let me turn this water off. My bad, yo. How many of the other morning show hosts that you've seen on Hot 97 in general have been able to spin their careers from the Hot 97 morning show to a second or third show on Hot 97 to WFAN to ESPN,
Yes Network,
and some other things I probably don't even know
and
about.
WWE.
Oh wow, good point.
Oh my God, I didn't even know about that. That's big. Okay, how many? Tell me. I'll wait. He don't have privilege? Yeah, okay. Now him doubling down on the whole Palestine thing. He's cruising for a bruising to lose his job on that one. But other than that, come on, dude has big time privilege, man. I've seen him. I know his brother, and I've known his brother from like 02, 03. And I've seen him I've seen Rosenberg move from DC to New York. I think he was living with his brother at the time. And this is in 2005. Go from nothing to literally in 15 years, he blew up off of a YouTube parody, bro. Here he is now. And I'm not saying he didn't put any work. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve the fruits of his labor. But what I am saying is I've never seen anybody from any morning show on the radio in Hot 97 or 105 or Kiss FM or BLS spin their careers like he has.
Nope.
I haven't seen it. Period. So he needs to not talk. Yes, they're right. And Russell Simmons had his nigga wake up call. So yeah, he's gonna call you out too. As much of a friend as he is of the Jews. He's gonna call you out too now, because now he's black again, at least for now.
Cause can I just point out some things, how BS, how annoying this dude is. Just let me just read the proper. So in the Bible, Revelations, obviously New Testament, Jewish people don't read that, I guess. It says, "Behold, I'll make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I'll make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee." The comment itself wasn't talking about, all right, the Khazars who call themselves, well, not in that sense, but in the context of it, remember, well, if you read the Bible, even when Jesus came and destroyed the temple, he called his people, they're fake Jews because they weren't following the religion properly. That quote itself wasn't coming at the so-called people necessarily now who call themselves Jews. He was talking about more so in the biblical sense of like everybody's persecuting me, but like God will assess and whatever. But he wasn't even coming at so-called the Jews or whatever. And Rosenberg, he probably is not even observant, doesn't turn off electricity on Fridays or that stuff. So I'm not even going to get into that because he's a clown. So this guy comes in and says that he doesn't tell other people what to be offended by, but he literally just got mad at the fact that Russell Simmons and Cheek Creekmore, whatever, did not get offended by the tweet. So that one, you're a hypocrite. Right. And two, another way you're a liar is because I remember this guy Rosenberg was on Hot 97. And he used to complain and say, "Oh, I'm an icon in this game. People need to respect me." I swear my life, he said this stuff. And now you're trying to come out. You're basically trying to act as if you're this purveyor, like you're the guy who surveys everything about hip hop, like you have this great impact. Can anyone tell me the last song that Rosenberg has produced? Does anybody tell me the last song besides the song with J. Cole that he played on his late morning what's the name late night show? Can you tell me any artist he's pushed out there, whatever? So this guy comes in and again, look at the faces of High 97. High 97 used to be black and multicultural. Used to have misinfo noise people. The only black person I see in is that one guy. I don't even watch it, but when I see YouTube videos, that one black guy. I don't see really any faces from New York.
And he's always in the back.
And this guy has This guy talks so much ish. It's like, bruh, who allowed you to have a say in hip hop? And three, when Jay Electronica, you first of all, you sit up there and you have guys like all these rappers who talk about lean, who talk about Molly, who talk about killing each other and all this other stuff, right? You have no problem with it. So it's okay when we talk about killing ourselves, whatever, right? But if we dare mention anything that even has a little bit to do, just the word synagogue, has the word synagogue in it, you're all offended, but you're not offended when black people talking about. This is why I say when you talk about when Lord Jamar was talking about the gatekeepers of hip, or he's talking about hip hop, guests of hip hop, and people were laughing at him. This is why he's right, because the hip hop, most of hip hop, we're not sitting up there just making songs. Most of the songs, most of the great songs of hip hop talked about our pains and our struggles. It connects to us. It connects to how we grew up. It connects it connects our being. It connects to our history. The fact that Jay Electronica is trying to write a song that's more conscious, is trying to tap into a strength of black people. Obviously, Rosenberg, you're not going to connect to that. Instead of you saying, "Hey, this I mean, for me, I don't really connect with it," but hey, the lyricism in there, or if you don't like our production, you can sit here and involve yourself into something that you are not. This is why Lord Jamar was right. There are people who are guessing hip hop because hip hop talks about mostly black and brown people, and Rosenberg ain't that. But then they keep him as a gatekeeper for hip hop. How? So now, if it was up to Rosenberg, we would not be hearing the Jay Electronica album. They're already not going to play it on the radio anyway because they only play major league artists like Ebro said. So you're not going to play it on your album. So why are you coming after in the first place? So other black people don't listen to it? And you talk about Jews were the biggest allies to black people? Really? Did you do your history, Rosenberg? Who funded those slave ships that crossed the transatlantic? If I remember, I think there were Jewish groups of Jewish investors who funded those slave ships. When you're talking about all the issues that Malcolm X was talking about back in the past, and the people who were exploiting black labor, exploiting black people, Jewish people also including that. So all this stuff about Jewish people, and it's no, excuse my language, I'm not trying to come at you, this, I guess, Jewish savior thing where he's like, "Oh, we're the biggest allies." And who the hell are you to tell us that you're our biggest ally? And ally in what? What the hell are you talking about? Who have you been an ally to? Like, this dude's a cornball, man. I've lost all respect for him. I gave him credit for the J. Cole thing, but he's
always been a cornball. So
he's always been a
cornball.
If he was born in the 40s, he would be talking about how he marched with Dr. Martin Luther King.
Wow, that sounds like Bernie Sanders, but continue.
Yeah.
I still have yet to hear him talk about reparations for black people, anything that actually helps move the needle. But he'll put on a Waka Flocka, he'll put on a Chief Keef song and talk about, killing and, all that stuff. But, he's an ally to black people, right? This guy.
Well, for one, the one thing I think we missed is we live in an information age, but also in this information age, there's a lot of misinformation. You know what I mean? So, and just like we talked about Joe Budden, going off on a certain thing, we could say the same thing for Rosenberg in this case. I'm not going to say that he wasn't. I'm not going to, just go out here and say that he wasn't really offended and is only saying that for listeners, or that he shouldn't have been offended. What I will say is that for every conversation, there's a time and a place. You know what I mean? And for him to go on and on and on for like 7 straight minutes about how he's the victim of a certain thing, to me was wrong.
I mean, my thing. But see, my thing is this with him, right? He has the right to feel however he wants to feel. But the fact that he put it on Twitter, you know, like he said, I have a public whatever. We can have a conversation at any time. Well, you know what? If you really felt like you wanted to have a conversation, why put it on Twitter? Get a dude a call and say, yo, let's talk about this. Can we talk about this? And do it behind closed doors. He chose to put it out there in the public. So whatever backlash he gets, he gets. He chose to put his feelings out there on Twitter. He could have easily called Jay Electronica up and said, let's have a conversation about this. They talked, you know, they had this issue before, 2011, whatever, a long time ago, right? 2014. They had the issue back then. He could have easily said, yo, can we talk about this? You know what I'm saying? I want to get this straight. I just want to talk about it. Let's have a conversation. But he waits until he puts it out there. And then when Jay Electronica responds, then he says, oh, I have a public show. We can come talk about this anytime. That's just trying to get somebody to come to your show, try to get some ratings to your show.
It's like Geraldo Rivera. Remember Geraldo Rivera used to do stuff like that.
I mean, come on, man.
Stir something up and then be like, yo, we can do it on my show.
Exactly. Exactly. That's all that is. That's all that is.
The thing about it, though,
corny, man.
But I'll give you an example. Say I troll Guillermo, right? And Guillermo is really offended, right? I'll go look at my phone and it'll be Guillermo like, yo, I need to talk to you about something. And if we can't meet face to face, we'll just talk about it on the telephone. But what he'll do is when we get together, look me in my eyeballs, man to man, and be like, Freezy, you said such and such, and I'm offended by it, and I believe you wrong. And then I'll be like, gee, listen, this is how I feel, and such and such. I'm going to talk to him, and you know what I'm saying, face to face, eyeball to eyeball. And even if we don't agree, you know what I'm saying, we'll at least we'll handle that between ourselves. And our conversation, if it's that personal to Guillermo, it doesn't have to leave that setting. You know what I'm saying? But cats don't do that now.
Right.
I'm telling you, it's the day Rosenberg wanted you or wanted the listeners to tune in more to their show because his livelihood is attached to it. You know what I'm saying? So he had something personal. You know what I'm saying? He can get people to tap into their feelings and tune in more. You know, I think this is a sham by Rosenberg. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been offended because the one thing you really don't want to talk to people about is politics and their religion or personal beliefs, you know, down that road, because they'd be so different and sometimes people would be offended. But the thing about that, though, is he brought it to the air.
And this is how phony he is. I actually have friends who are observant. They call other Jews fake. So if those people are calling other Jews fake, why is it that even if it was in this context that Jay Electronica is calling people of today, certain Jews of today fake, why is it that he can't say it, but other Jews can say it? You know what I mean? So this is I don't understand. It's like, Rosenberg, what is your point? And you're offended by what? Like,
I mean, that point that you said. The only thing I'll say about the point that you just brought up is, you know, that's like us saying
the N-word thing.
Exactly.
That's the same thing, right? You know, it's like, well, I mean, you just said, how come other Jews can bring up blah blah blah, but other people can't? I mean,
but the only thing is that when you say something like the N-word, right? The N-word is just, it's whether we say it good, it's still an insult, right? But in terms of discussion, other Jews will say, well, these people, they don't observe this or blah, blah. Because some people take on Judaism as culture, some people take it as religion, some people take it as identity. There are people who take it on, that I know that take it on as identity. They can trace back and they say, well, if they're not born to this, blah, blah, blah. And it's a debate. It's not like, oh, I guess it could be seen as an insult, but I think that's more so in an intellectual debate versus the N-word. Even if we say to each other, Sim, it's still an insult. It's us trying to change around, but it's still an insult regardless, versus people actually trying to have a debate. Because honestly, the whole idea of Judaism, it's very clouded in how people identify with it. So it's still ongoing debate. That's all I'll say. I understand what you're trying to say with the N-word thing.
But Guillermo, you can, so they can be fake Jewish, but we can't ever be fake black. You know what I'm saying?
That's very. But this is the thing about it, right? Rosenberg is mad at those lyrics, right? But why isn't he mad when black people are depicted as mammies or depicted as the most stereotypical garbage by a bunch of Jewish producers in Hollywood? In rap, he knows Rosenberg's in the industry. He knows how the rap industry goes. But I thought Rosenberg was so real. But when Buckshot comes on, they sit there and berate him and talk about how he's minor league. When that kid, Astro comes on, they almost, I won't say he was crying, but they almost get this kid to the point where he's like, yo, what the hell is this, man? And they have him and Ebro teaming up, talking about how much this kid ain't worth their spins. But Rosen talks about how much of the culture he is for. But like JJP just said, this guy's on ESPN now. He's on. So he basically, like a lot of people who don't look like us, use our culture to get ahead. Because let's be honest, ESPN, yes, Network weren't looking for Rosenberg when he was in DC. But he used the hip hop culture to get on. Now he's just, he's the white guy who likes rap. And now they put him on. Now he's, I'm offended by this. I just can't. That's what I'm talking about. So when Lord Jamar, for all the people that joked on Lord Jamar, they owe him an apology because he was right. Because stuff like this happens. Like JJP said, I don't see any black rappers on that now have become a spokesperson on ESPN and all that stuff, blah, blah, like Rosenberg did. And I'm pretty sure that people who love sports way more and analyze it way more than Rosenberg, who came up black or Hispanic and came from that culture and love rap. I don't see people coming up like that. But Rosenberg could come up, and he has that privilege to do so because he has a complexion for connects. Let's be honest. Now he's coming here trying to pontificate about what? You're the reason why no one cares about High 97. You're the reason why New York hip hop is struggling right now. Let's be honest. It's trying to sound like everybody else instead of itself. Let's be honest, you're a part of that. And you should come on acting like you're a part of real hip hop. You're not. You and Ebro, who's also half Jewish too, and Laura Styles, I have no idea how the hell you guys represent.
Ebro was half Jewish? Wow.
Yes, Ebro's half Jewish. And he's from LA. He's not even from New York City. He's from LA. Why the hell you go to LA, bro? I can't go to Big Boy Station and try to change that up and gentrify. Somebody made a good point here. They said High 97 is gentrified. I can't go to LA, I can't go to Atlanta, I can't go to these places and impose my will and say, yeah, I'm from New York. They'll kick me out. But in New York, for some reason, we allow these clowns to come on and destroy our radio waves. How?
Yep. Mano said the same thing.
Come on, son.
That was Mano's issue, man.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, like somebody said, K-Slay's the only, but K-Slay, he's not even, you don't even have as big of a K-Slay for how long he's been in the game. All the but all the underground rappers he tried to put on, the Papooses, the Gravs, the Frank the Godsons, all these people he tried to put on, it's like, yo, he don't get no respect. Come on, man. But I have to listen to what do they even talk about High 97 as deep? Like, come on, bro. Like these guys, they're clowns, man.
Nothing.
Laura Styles. Who the hell's a Laura Styles? I've never heard. When Miss Info used to be on there, I actually like Miss Info, and she's an Asian girl or Asian woman.
I don't like her.
She wasn't bad. Her articles weren't bad. Like she was okay, but it's like, come on, man.
Hey, she messed me up with the gold. She messed me up with the gold teeth, though. Did you see her gold teeth? That
she had pictures of the gold teeth, but I mean, I'd rather have her than gentrification. Like you said, if he was born in the 40s, I march for Bernie Sanders, but yeah, you also signed the 94 crime bill. That's Ebro. He's the hip hop Bernie Sanders. He will come on and talk about how real hip hop he is, but if you say anything black, hey, that's too much. You could do Martin Luther King, but you can't do Malcolm X. No Hugh P. Newton. That's too much for him. That's too much black. Like, get the F out of here, man. This balding idiot. Get him the F out of here.
I'm about to head up out of here, man.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Freezy. Go ahead, say what you're gonna say, because I'm about to head up out of here. But go ahead.
Oh, so I was gonna ask Guillermo how he felt about Rosenberg taking his stance. Right now, I heard your stance on Rosenberg, but what I'm talking about is how it's opposed to Jay, because I noticed when we were talking about what we heard from Rosenberg, that we only touched on what Jay Electronica said a little teeny bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like he said the verse from the Bible and such. So how do you feel about what Jay said?
In response to Rosenberg?
No, from the beginning, like the
synagogues are saying?
Right. So how do you feel? I have no problem.
That's his perspective. That was actually from a song from 2014. So Rosenberg was reaching deep, but because that was from Better in Tune with the Infinite, which I advise all you guys to listen to. Is a great song, or a really good song to me. But yeah, I have no problem with it. That's him speaking his truth, man. Like this is the issue, right? they don't want black people. They want to make it seem like slavery, like, and obviously not everybody's every black person connected to slavery, right? But those who are connected to translating slavery is like, yeah, just talk about slavery and then all the things that white people did to fix that. Don't talk about anything. Don't talk about any of the ideas or ideologies you may have connected yourself to build up strength within your people, right? That's why Martin Luther King is praised, but Malcolm X, for some reason, never gets talked about, even though you can argue he had just as much as influence, maybe even more amongst black people than Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? Guys like Huey P. Newton, like guys like, what's my man? The one who got, the guy who died. Not Mega Evers. The one who, Fred Hampton. My memory is shot. Fred Hampton. You can't talk about any black person that may have had and think about it. All the black people, all those ideologies are born from reactions, right? That's why when you see, and I can attest to this, when you see other African groups, right, who come over to America, they don't really have groups that are so-called anti-white. That's the case. Like, they don't have these so-called militant groups coming to America saying, yeah, we hate white people from Belgium and we're going to bring that over to America. It's like, no, there was something obviously done to those who are in America, and they have an ideology that created an in-group bias that says, hey, we are going to insulate ourselves and protect ourselves because so-and-so happened to us. And no one wants to talk about that. Everybody wants to talk about Martin Luther King getting beat up, spat on, and all that stuff because it's the safe way to think about things. But there are other people who thought themselves as men and women who said, I'm not going to get myself beat up. I'm going to tie myself to this ideology that's going to protect me. And that's all Jay Electronica is speaking to. And Jay Electronica, in terms of spirituality, and he is all over the place. If Rosenberg did his homework, he'll understand this guy's not a Christian because he got that from the Bible. This guy's not, I guess he's Muslim or whatever, but the guy is all over the place. And for you to pick that,
you gotta respect that man beliefs, man. You can't just guess.
No. I know he's not Christian. I know he's like Muslim, but I know that he's in terms of spirituality. I don't mean in a bad way. I meant like he talks about a lot of stuff. Like he's all like he travels and he's all over.
He was asked before about his religion. He was like, "Am I Christian? Yes. Am I Muslim? Yes. Am I?" I mean, he just kind of talked about, basically saying, "I study everything."
Right.
So I have no problem with what he said, man. Rosenberg, get the hell out. Get over.
Well, the reason why blacks from other places don't feel like American blacks is because they hadn't been stripped of their family lineage.
That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. I'll tell you an example right now. So Nigeria, my parents from Nigeria, when they split up Nigeria, and this is why we have issues now with the North. When they split up Nigeria, literally, or create Nigeria, they basically just put a whole amalgamated group of tribes, right? So up north, we have nothing to do with the oh my gosh, the people up north, the Fulani, and a lot of the Muslim people up there. And the reason why we have a lot of wars is because they want to control the oil in the south, but it has nothing to do with, like, they consider another country. So when you talk about splitting, yeah, in Nigeria, yes, in the Congo, yes. When you talk about I think is it Uganda, not Uganda, Rwanda. When you talk about the Hutus and the Tutsis, yes. When you talk about Uganda and Belgium, yes. So a lot of these places have had it stripped. Is just that when they look at they may have hatred for those groups in their countries, but it's still their colonialism. What happened there? I'll say it's to America. America is one of the more resilient groups in terms of retaliation because they were able to come together as amalgamated people. Those people, they had.
Did you say black people come together?
In America, I'm saying.
You saying, but what do you mean by black people coming together?
As in, okay, there was somebody who's oppressing us, and our identity is to be anti that, to protect ourselves from it. Versus in other places, like say Nigeria, because there's so damn corruption. You might have one tribe who's been mostly hurt by the colonialists, but other groups would be like, well, we don't really vibe with you, but we're not gonna go against the white people. Whatever, we're good over here. But a lot of their history or their country, whatever, has been stripped from them as well. So it's very complicated overseas. But in terms of them coming over here and not being on terms with other black people, at least being able to sympathize and empathize with them, I think it's stupid. Because even my mom used to be on some, African Americans, and now she sees like, after she's living in America for 30-some years, she's like, it's they treat us all the same. I'm like, oh, really? And I've been telling you this stuff since high school, and you should call me, just go to school, just do your studies. And now she sees it my way. So, I mean,
there are some people here that are black African American that don't even know where their ancestors come from in Africa.
Agreed. And some people, and some people do. Some so-called African Americans are not African. Some of you guys are something called swarthy. You're from Europe, or you're from the native place here, or you're from Polynesia, or you're from Spain. You're from different places. The thing about it is that this is why I get mad with Rosenberg. I know, Sim, you got to go, but the thing why I get mad with Rosenberg is that anytime you have black people who try to find what they are, or at least attempt to do it, you have a lot of people, and it's nothing against anybody, but I've seen this before. Liberal pandering people who are not of our color. They come in as like he said, all the things we've done. I've heard other language, but other Jewish liberals say this, like, how could you have these thoughts when we've done so much for you? I thought we were on this. The intersectionality thing does not work. Like, we are all separated groups. We should respect each other. But Rosenberg is basically trying to stop Jay Elec from speaking words that, okay, maybe I'm not Muslim, maybe I'm not this, maybe I'm not, but let me do research on it. Because everything I said about Jay Elec, it's to make you think. Like, his music, I think, is mostly to make you think. And when you get a person like Rosenberg who's stopping you from thinking, he's an enemy of your progress. Even if you're not Muslim, whatever, the fact that you're thinking makes you more powerful. And he's trying to stop people from doing that. So I have no respect for that dude, man.
All right, well, I hate to cut this conversation short, but I got to get up.
Sorry, Sim. I know you got to sleep, man.
Got to get up out of here. It's late. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, man. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you guys for being on. All right. And I'll be back on Friday. And we'll talk about whatever's going on. Huh?
Find some music, man.
Yeah, I have some music. I got some independent music. I just didn't play it tonight.
Before you go, I don't know if you got an idea for a Friday show, man, but I think we should do a review for Royce the 5'9's latest album.
I think they did that.
We did that already? We did one.
You did?
I think we did a short one. We didn't do it full length. I think we did a short one though.
Oh, okay, that's my guy, bro.
Yeah, I think we did a short one.
And I'll say this, he does have a song that I do like, the one with West Side Gun. I'll give him that. That song is.
That's a weird song.
I like it.
I like him and the West Side Gun and Rock Mars. Okay.
Yo, just cut the stream off, Sim. I don't like the disrespect that Rock Marciano's getting. So this is blatant disrespect, man.
No, Book of Ryan. If y'all ain't heard Book of Ryan, listen to Book of Ryan, man. Hard as hell, bro.
No doubt. But I'm out of here, folks, man. Appreciate you guys for being on. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll catch you on Friday, and we'll see whatever the show's gonna be about. It's gonna be about. Talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys later, man. I'm out of here. Peace.